If you get too much or too many of something, that's a sign that your structure at work is beginning to fail. I'm David Stiernholm, and in this 568th episode of Done, you'll learn how to put a stop to the negative trend early. But first, opinions differ on how close to deadlines we ought to complete tasks. But did you know that things take longer to complete the later we start? Why? Well, I'll explain in a short blog post on the Struktör blog. You'll find a link to it in the show notes. The other day I was reminded of the old Swedish saying that in translation says, "Better to dam the brook than the river." I've known it for a while, but I was now struck by how it carries a valuable message that I've benefited from for my structure. The message of the saying is that you and I are best off taking action on something when the problem is still small instead of only when it's big. At least I have benefited from having this in the back of my mind every other day. Perhaps you too. Do this. If you recognize that it becomes too much, too many, and too big in different parts of your structure this week, be extra attentive to signs that your structure is beginning to fail in some point. Where does it begin to flow a bit too much? What does it become too many of? This kind of growth speaks of a flaw in your structure, an area where it doesn't work as it should. As soon as you identify the problem, take action. You can, for example, deal with the notes you wrote in a rush the day before they pile up. Reply quickly when you don't have much time, instead of marking the email or message as unread to come back to it later, before the list of unanswered messages becomes overwhelming. If you start to have to work overtime more often than usual, do something to reduce your workload before it gets out of control. Give up responsibility for the moment or forever. Delegate tasks that don't require you to do them immediately. If you notice the frequency of meetings increasing, fill up your calendar with a downtime or focus time you know you need, before you don't have any regular working hours left for your other important tasks. Because if you stop a trend in your structure that's starting to cause trouble for you at an early stage, before it gets too bad, you avoid it becoming way too much. If you have experienced the structural damage getting out of hand before, I imagine you have also thought, never again. Strike the iron while it's hot and you'll avoid it. What have you taken hold of and slowed down when it comes to your structure before it became too much? How did you dam? Please tell me by emailing david@stiernholm.com. All ideas on how we can get better control of our work situation are warmly welcomed by me. You who follow me here and on other social media know that I share them freely so that many more than me can benefit from them. Thank you for contributing to that. And that's it for today. I wish you a productive and enjoyable week.